Y'all get me? Morning, Mr. McGreevy. That's your name, sir? Mr. McGreevy?
Yes.
Okay. Morning, sir.
Morning.
Before I proceed, can I get states exhibits? 685, 686, 687, and 692, please, sir.
685, 686, 687, 692.
Yes, sir. Mr. McGreevy, sir, which CD will contain all the information on 911 traffic? Is that 685? Is that correct, sir?
I don't know. It's the one that says all phone, all radio.
Okay. Mr. McGreevy, sir, you said you can recognize officers by voice, right, sir?
Some of them, yes.
Okay, can you recognize your dispatcher by voice also, the one who worked for you, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Well, for 911 dispatchers, Melissa Green, Keila Hamilton, Randall Ramirez, Benjamin Hall, Sidney Rutledge, and Kevin Zappa on duty on March 22, 2011.
Yes.
Did you talk to them about this? Did they relay any traffic about the 911 call, a late carjacking call, or the police shooting incident? Were they involved in that, sir?
Some of them were.
Who you know? Could you tell us who were?
Randall Ramirez took the first call. Keila Hamilton took the second.
Okay, there's Keila Hamilton. All right. Was it Melissa Green took the first call or Keila Hamilton took that first call?
Neither.
Sir, how many was the second call? You don't want Brooks?
Keila Hamilton.
I would like to use on play number 6. Let's see what time that come in. 12. What is that? 12:56:35. I'd like to play that for you, sir. Exhibit 685. States exhibit 685.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, I was reporting she got the carjacking and a long robbery.
Okay, where are you at?
I jumped out the boot of the car. They hit me in the boot of the
You
car.
have to let me know where you are, sir.
You know the people that got shot at?
So where?
People that got shot. Right across the street from the car.
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat y'all there right there. That's what happened to me. But that's what happened when my police had to be when the service when I jumped out the boot. And I'm sitting down here saying, all kind of everything. And I know that that's what we're going to do there. I don't know who the rest of them are. But they had teammates on. Hey, man,
Let me know what happened, sir. What's your name?
my name is Judah Brooks. J-U-D-O-E-S Brooks, B-R-O-O-K-S.
Jada Brooks?
Yeah.
Mr. McGreevy, who was that lady? Did you recognize that voice you were talking to, John Brooks? Who was she?
Keila Hamilton.
That's Keila Hamilton. I'd like to play State Exhibit 685, track, second. Before I proceed, did Mr. Brooks say anything about the marijuana on that call? Did he say anything about any marijuana?
I don't recall.
Did he say anything about a silver and black hands on it?
Don't recall.
The contact?
Yeah,
What kind of vehicle do you have?
35 Chevrolet Creek convertible, cream color, positive burner with it calls probably
It was cream in color?
there's a hand in color. It's cream color convertible. The you drive right here, yeah.
So just speed things up. Speed it up. So I don't have to keep pausing, waste time. Mr. McGreevy, I would like to play State Exhibit 685, number 6, 7, 9, 11, and 19. Number 6, number 7, number 9, number 11, and number 19, sir. And I would like to ask you about some things after I get some plans.
What you doing? Thank you, man.
Which way did it go from keeping time?
They went to the right going to where they went on. The potatoes were literally to the right.
Oh, the Winterview Road?
They went on Coffee Street. I came from Winterview Road.
Okay, they went towards downtown?
I was just thinking on the hot day going to the lot there.
Okay, but you didn't see them go that way, though, did you?
I think the car going to the road, like I said, toward Coffee Street.
What's the tag to your vehicle, do you know?
I had to call my girlfriend to my phone, too.
Is it your phone, okay?
But it was your phone, they switched.
How long was this happened, son? Okay, all right, now tell me this, sir. Okay, so you don't know the tag to your vehicle?
No, but no, I had to call my old lady to her name.
Did she know the tag? She there with you?
No, I didn't even call her. I ain't got my phone.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, that's fine, sir. Okay, so are you at the Demon Pie shop now?
I was going back to, we might have looked to with, my friend had come to get the wife for I mean, I'm here back there. Everybody get the
Hold on, sir. Hold on 1 minute. Okay, so you gotta let me know where you're gonna meet the officers at, because they're already on the way. They're on the way looking for what happened, looking for that car, and they're gonna be looking to meet with you, but you're not where you at. Okay, where are you gonna meet with the officers? How long will it take you to get there? Hold on, sir.
I was in the truck of a 2001 Cadillac DeVille.
You was in a truck?
Yeah, I jumped out the truck. They were trying to take me somewhere. When I popped the truck when I was in the corner of the car. I had a car I was on there. I put my head, I got my head out of one of there. I popped the roof and the car stopped. I just jumped out the roof. So my complaint was behind them and they were calling, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We just got up there, I think we got to do that right there with you. Yeah, the people come all the things out when I jump out of the boat inside.
They put you in the trunk of their car?
Yeah, they got
Your car?
They want me to put their car in there.
What kind of car were they in?
They look at the Cadillac DeVito 2001 with handcuffs and handcuffs. I know it's no punchery. That's what we're crazy about.
Who's the person's name?
Jamie Good.
The people was with him. Were they all black or what colors were they? What race were they?
Black, but they had a blood to the other one on ski man.
What would the ski mask look like?
One was black and two was white. Like white t-shirt top on me. And the little Jamie had never really. He don't want to turn me over.
Okay, so where are you at now?
I'm going to do the contract. Go ahead.
Okay, where are you at now, though?
Right here, we don't really take on that. We got Grove Town Lane and a couple of places, what is it, hard garden down there, right there?
Y'all just passed the car down? They need, the officers are gonna need y'all to stop. They need y'all to stop the vehicle. I want you to stop and let them know where you are. They're looking for you. They don't want to wait till you see the TV time. They want to talk to you now. It's Curtis. What is it, Curtis? TV time? Okay. All right. Now, where are y'all stopped at?
Right in the neighborhood of
Where are you at? At Georgetown?
Yeah.
Huh?
I want to go with it right now. I want to talk to the police officer.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. McGreevy, sir. That voice you heard talking to Don Brooks, you said she Miss Keila Hamilton, sir? That's who you identified?
That's Keila Hamilton, yes.
Okay. While you were listening to Don Brooks talk to Miss Hamilton, did Don Brooks mention anything about some marijuana?
No.
Did Don Brooks mention anything about coming to 100 Granite Road with two other black males?
No.
Did Don Brooks mention seeing or having a silver black dog?
No.
Mr. McGreevy, I would like for you to look at, I mean, listen to State's Exhibit 685, number 21, 22, 23, number 24.
I was advising that there were 4 males that did this to him. 3 had on ski masks, 1 was black and 2 were white.
Mr. McGreevy, who voice you heard on number 21?
That's Melissa Green.
Melissa Green.
advise you where this happened.
He jumped out on Lexington right near McIntyre. He's in another vehicle now, just past Car Gardens. We're trying to get him to stop to meet with us.
So we'll find out where the original incident occurred, though, where they got a hold of him in the car.
Mr. McGreevy, sir, but then also Miss Melissa Green talking to an officer.
Yes.
Do you know who the officer was? Who she was talking to, sir?
There were a couple officers there. The last one we heard was Sergeant Kincaid.
How about the first one? Who asked her, could you find out where the incident happened at? Who was that officer?
Sergeant Buck.
Sergeant Buck.
We're also being advised that this occurred at the light right beside McIntyre.
Who was with number 23, sir?
The dispatcher is Melissa Green.
Miss Green, Miss Melissa Green said this occurred at the 50th time.
So that's what we're being advised.
Okay, did she advise that this occurred at 100 Randy Road by some marijuana?
No.
Like you look at number 24, please, sir. Listen to me.
21.
So he was putting the trunk at his car, go
Yeah, well, at the light right there, and I got to put each other corner and able to get out. I was advising that there were 4 males that did this to him. 2 had on ski masks, and one was black. I think 2.
You might need to play that again because it kind of overlapped over there. You got to drive to get 24 again, it kind of overlapped on us.
I don't know the difference if you play with
Okay,
it.
do you need me to play that again?
I don't know what your question.
Ask the question.
The number 24, their officer advising that what happened there is, when you agree that she said it happened right there at 50 time.
Yes.
Who was the officer who asked her where did this occur at and who she answered? You know who the officer is? Was that also Mr. Butt, sir?
No, that was Officer Moss.
But you would agree, she said it occurred at the victim time, correct?
That was her understanding at that time.
Okay. And she had talked to Jadon Brooke before she said that too, didn't she?
No.
Well, how did she get that information? Who she got from Keelan Hamilton?
Keelan Hamilton is the call taker. Melissa Green is the dispatcher.
Okay.
Melissa Green is not talking to Mr. Brooks.
So Ms. Keelan Hamilton is the call taker.
That's correct.
And Ms. Melissa Green is the dispatcher.
That's correct.
So Ms. Hamilton, the call taker received the call, then she relayed the information to the dispatcher, and the dispatcher relayed the information to the officer.
That's correct.
Okay, so Jadon Brooke called Ms. Hamilton, correct?
That's correct.
And he gave Ms. Hamilton some information about a carjacking, alleged carjacking, correct? And Ms. Hamilton took Mr. Brooks' information and gave it to Miss Melissa Green. Correct?
Yes.
And Miss Melissa Green took that information related to all officers on the road that day. That's correct.
That's correct.
I'd like to take 25 stations into 685 we go from 25 to 30.
All SO units stand by for Bolo reference. Possible carjacking or robbery that occurred. Say that occurred on Pittman Tire, believe it's on Coney Street, Lexington Road. Subject took a 75 Chevy convertible, tan in color.
Sir, who was that male you just heard?
Randall Ramirez.
Randall Ramirez. When you agree that Mr. Ramirez said carjacking occurred at 50 on Lexington Road?
Yep.
Then he said all SO units stand by. What do you mean by that, all SO units?
He's on, Mr. Ramirez was speaking on the radio channel for the Sheriff's Department. So when he keyed up, he was calling all SO units, letting them all know. Stand by for a bolo, which means be on the lookout. So I've got some information, important information to put out.
Would you agree that information comes from Jadon Brook 911 call?
Yes.
And you agree that the information relayed out to the Sheriff's Department and everything?
Yes.
Sir.
Possible. Being driven by black metal, possibly down the bypass from Lexington Road headed up 29.
Again, that was Mr. Ramirez, sir?
Yes, it was.
27. Who was the officer talking? You know who he was?
Yeah, that's Officer Moss.
Could you tell us what your understanding of what you heard Mr. Moss say? Could you explain that, please?
Sure. Officer Moss was asking if Westside had this information. He's asking of the East frequency, and he's talking to the East Side dispatcher. And he's asking, do the officers on the West Side know about this yet? And the reason he's asking is one of the pertinent facts that he's bringing forward. He's saying that the suspect has an address of 240 Sycamore Drive. So it's especially important that the West Side officers know that because the suspects frequently go home when they run away from police or from scenes. So we want to go check that residence. 240 Sycamore Drive is on the West Side.
So would you agree that he put this bolo out to the West Side officer pertaining to the 911 call Jadon Brook made?
That was not a bolo. That was Officer Moss asking if the information had been given to the West Side. It, in fact, was not a bolo. It was an inquiry whether or not there had been one.
What information he was asking given to the West Side?
The information in reference to reported carjacking and kidnapping.
Which came from Jadon Brook, is that correct?
That's correct.
Please, sir.
Our West Side unit stand by for a bolo if it's possible robbery or carjacking occurred on the East Side. Can be in reference to a 75 Chevy convertible tan in color that was taken from a Jadon Brook subject. Vehicle is said to be getting on 29, or rather on the bypass from Lexington Road, possibly going towards 29. Possibly occupied times, at least one black male.
Mr. McGreevy, sir, could you explain who it was and what they just relayed, please? And number 28, please, sir.
That was Randall Ramirez, and he was giving the Bolo the information out to the west side, letting them know the information they had at that point, relaying information about possible direction of travel, vehicle description, possible suspects.
Okay. Now, will you agree that this Bolo is coming from the information that Jadon Brooke called 911 and gave?
Yes.
Number 29, please, sir.
Possible suspect with Jamie Hood, posted 240 Sycamore Drive. I'm talking India 2, I-2. This is all very preliminary information. There's no further at this time.
Could you explain what you just heard in track number 29, please, sir?
Sure. Randall Ramirez is continuing the Bolo to the west side, letting them know possible suspect involved in this. Address that we have in our system from prior history from Mr. Hood, that's the last known location, so we're giving that out. Mr. Ramirez also points out to the officers that this is very preliminary information, so we're just now getting information. Because of the serious nature of an incident like this, we try to get information out as quickly as possible, and the updates may certainly follow as information is corrected, corroborated.
Mr. McGreevy, will you agree that the dispatcher gave a Bolo to all the units because of what Jadon Brooke called 911 and told them? Will you agree with that, sir?
Well, at this point, Mr. Brooks, the phone call was over and he's speaking with police officers, so some of this information may be coming from the officer who's speaking to Mr. Brooks, but the basis of all this is information being reported by Mr. Brooks.
So is it safe to say if Mr. Brooks had called 911 and say he was carjacked, there would never been a Bolo on me in the first place? Is it safe to say that?
Well, we did have that first call before Mr. Brooks in reference to a black male popping out of the trunk at Lexington and Winterville. And so we had officers en route out looking to find out what was going on with that.
Let me rephrase it. Is it safe to say that no officer wouldn't have went to Sycamore Drive looking for this suspect, Jamie Hood, if Jadon Brooke had called 911 and told him about Jamie Hood carjacking him at a red light at a given time?
Certainly, Mr. Brooks was the source of information that Jamie Hood was the suspect in this incident.
Now, you agree, Mr. Brooks never did mention to anybody about no marijuana of 100 Rankin Road at this time before they put that Bolo away?
He didn't say anything about marijuana.
Did he say anything to the 911 call taker, distance for the call taker about stealing black dog?
No.
I'll get you one moment, sir. Okay. I'd like you to look at 685, number 58, sir.
did advise verbal pump of Victor 1247, right? 2220.
The victims also advised that they were armed with at least one sawed-off shotgun and several handguns.
And for units, be clear that they were armed with at least one sawed-off shotgun and several handguns. Use caution.
Mr. McGree, sir, could you please explain what you just heard on track 58, sir?
Sure. It begins with Officer Black advising dispatch that the people he's out with are not the suspects being sought. And then the dispatcher, Melissa Green, confirms the tag that he had given previously. Sergeant Butt advised that the victim has told him that the suspects were armed with at least one sawed-off shotgun, several handguns, and then dispatch central blows that out to units so that they're aware of that and they can use caution if they have any kind of contact.
All right. I'd like you to look at State Exhibit 685, number 6, sir.
Central Lead Westside units possibly looking for these suspect vehicles. And use caution, they were victims advising they were armed with at least one sawed-off shotgun and several handguns. Once again, use caution if you make contact with these people that are armed with at least one sawed-off shotgun and several handguns.
Could you tell us what you heard in State Exhibit 685, track 6, please, sir?
That's the Westside dispatcher who is updating the bolo in reference to these suspects that they're looking for, in reference to the possible carjacking and kidnapping, letting them know that the victim has advised that they may be armed with sawed-off shotgun or several handguns. Any officers having contact should use caution.
Who were the Westside dispatcher? What did their name is?
Benjamin Paul.
What procedure do officers supposed to use when dispatch tells them, hey, use caution? Somebody on with guns. What's the procedure for use caution? Will you tell us about that?
I can't speak to what the officers do. That's not my role in the dispatcher.
Okay, in your role as a dispatcher, why would the dispatcher tell them to use caution? Why would the dispatcher tell them that?
Because the people that they may have contact with have guns, and so they should use caution.
When using caution, don't the officer supposed to call in dispatcher if they do make contact with a dangerous suspect and the dispatcher told them to use caution? Would using caution be the radio dispatch and let them know, hey, we're pulling this guy over?
You're talking about police procedure, and that's not really my area.
Fair enough. Mr. McGree to this. Yeah, I'm kind of lost with this CD. I'm trying to make it match up with mine. It's a little different. Okay, I got you. I like to play State Exhibit 685, I guess section 2, number 1. From what I'm reading on this list, it ain't like mine. It's like it's been kind of redacted. Number 1.
Hello, acting phone calls at 1287 Sears Drive, apartment 804, with Steve.
Yeah, that's right. I want to put the city in. I think that is exhausted, what I'm sure on this particular city. You just through this, just going through all that stuff. I'd like to state Exhibit 687. Mr. McGreevy, I'd like you to look at State Exhibit 687, track number 1, please, sir.
Which event is that?
Are you clear on that traffic about Jamie Hood possibly being over at Cascades?
Mr. McGreevy, could you please tell us what you heard in the State Exhibit 687, track 1, please, sir?
That was the West Side dispatcher, Benjamin Paul, asking Officer Howard if he was clear on the information, information about Hood possibly living at Cascades. And Officer Howard said, "I'm clear now, and I'll be in the area checking."
Well, that's a private call, or could all unit hear that call?
That's on the West frequency, so anybody on the West frequency could hear it.
So, are you telling the jury right now that this call just didn't go to Tony Howard, Officer Tony Howard on a private call?
This was transmitted on the West frequency. Anybody on the West frequency would hear it.
And that was Mr. Benjamin Paul, sir?
Yes, sir.
And for the record, it wasn't a private call just between the two of them?
That's correct.
All right, let's move along. Well, I want to actually look at the little time. Little time here. 687, little time. And what time did that call come in that Mr. Benjamin called dispatcher Tony Howard? What time was it?
That transmission was at 13:20. That's 1:20 and 24 seconds.
How long did that call last?
21 seconds.
At 1:20, what was that, 21 seconds? All right. Now, when you agree that he said Central 1169?
Yes.
Why did he say Central 1169?
Because he wanted to speak to 1169.
And who was 1169?
Officer Howard.
I think you testified earlier, was it yesterday, that one officer called, they used a number so the dispatcher can identify. Is that correct, sir?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Go State Exhibit 687, track 2. Please, sir. Did you tell us what you doing? Could you tell us what you heard at track 2, who the officer was?
The first officer was Officer Jerry Johnson, calling Central. Ben Paul, acting as Central, responded. And then Officer Christian keys up and says, I've been shot. Central, I've been shot. Oh, my God. And then there's some kind of crosstalk or some other transmission.
What was Officer Christian's number that day? Was it 2370?
It was.
Did you hear that call said 2370, 10-4, I'm shot, 10-4, I'm shot on the guard? Did you hear that on that?
No.
Well, how could you tell the jury that was Officer Christian?
Okay. I recognize Buddy Christian's voice. When he keyed up, our radio system displays who's keying up at that time so that the dispatcher can just look and see who's keying up. And the dispatcher saw it was Officer Christian dispatching. Also, our radio system, everything else, we have monitoring equipment on all of that. So we have a record of every single transmission that occurred on the radio system. And looking at that, we can see at that time, it was 2370 who was using the push-to-talk function on his radio, meaning he was transmitting, he was pushing the button, and he could talk. And that's who was transmitting at that time of the transmission, I've been shot, Central, I've been shot, oh my God.
Isn't it possible that you might have been through so much you just possibly mistaken, sir, about who that was?
No.
But you are positive that we didn't hear that about 2370, did we?
I'm sorry?
We didn't hear no number 2370, didn't we?
That's correct.
What number did you hear?
In reference, at the beginning, 11:56, Jerry Johnson called in, and then the officer, Buddy Christian, called in, keyed up, said I've been shot.
Well, it's safe to say you can't say 100% sure that Officer King.
Yes, I can.
Okay. How could you say that if you didn't see him do it and you don't have no number?
Objection.
Places for the objection.
We'll withdraw our objection.
Okay. How could you say that was Officer Christian and you didn't see him get on that radio call or you didn't hear his number? How could you 100% say that was Officer Christian?
I recognize his voice, and we also have the data from the radio system showing that it was Officer Christian keying up at that time of that transmission.
Do you have that data with you today, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Could we see the CAD sheet? The number come on?
It's not CAD.
Well, I thought the officer number was on the CAD and Chronicle. Is the officer number on there? Here. This one. Can you see that clear?
No.
Let me see this.
We'd ask that be marked as some sort of exhibit.
I just wanted to read out. Can I see their exhibit or their Chronicle background exhibit? Chronicle.
You're asking for it, I mean, that was sorry.
Yeah, I know, but I figure instead of me introducing, they already introduced it. Why waste your time? I can use theirs. Ask him.
You know what exhibit number it is? It's already been admitted that.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
If you tell me the exhibit number, we can talk about it.
The exhibit number.
I'm sorry, just give me a moment. Get my document. He's talking about the background event chronology on the murder. That is number 691.
Can I see
Six ninety
Yes, sir.
This is my copy, excuse me.
Yeah, I see it.
Put it to a particular page.
Okay, it's on the first page.
It's on the first page?
Yes, sir, I see it.
All right.
Okay. And looking at that time, it's at 1:20, it says 1:28 and 17 seconds. Is that correct? Event comment, it's 1:28:04, off the Christian, 23:7 outside, right? That's what it says.
At 1:28 and what, I'm sorry?
I'm looking at the background event chronology.
Yeah.
I see 23:7 on it, say 1:13:28:04. Third
Yes.
20 seconds, 1:28:04.
Yes.
POL CA2 6390, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Then we go event comment 23:7 on shots.
Yes.
Okay, now what time did that say on there?
At 1:28 and 4 seconds.
Okay, now let's look at the time this shot thing come in here. When you agree, that say 1:26:40.
Yep.
Okay, that says 1:26:40, and the call lasted 1:27:01, time duration 22 seconds. Will you agree with that?
I'm sorry?
Let me point right here to Al. What time did that call come in about the 10-4 shot? When they say 1:26:40,
Yes.
and what the duration is ended at 1:27:01. Is that correct?
Yes.
Does it say 22 second time duration?
Mm-hmm.
It says that though.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Well, how can you say that, Officer Christian, and this happened, and the call ended at 1:27, and this say 1:28?
The CAD, the information in the CAD that he's referring to is typed in there. We don't have some kind of program that takes radio transmissions and transcribes them into the CAD system. It's a person hearing things and then typing it in. So there's a delay between the time that something is told to the dispatcher and the time that they type something in.
Okay. And he said 10-4 shot. Oh my God. Now, when you agree that the officer on this track number 2, and I want to play it again, say more than that. Then he say more than 10-4 shot. Oh my God. Then the officer say more than 10-4 shot.
I'm checking that question. I believe that misstates what it was that the officer said was transmitting over the radio.
Listen, Grief, I'd like to play state exhibit number 687, track number 2 again. I want you to listen closely to see if that officer says more than anything, more than 10-4 shot.
Again, I would object to the phraseology of what you're
Objection
saying.
sustained.
When you agree that the officer said more than 10-4 shot, oh my God. What is it?
I didn't mean to interrupt Mr. Hood's question, but again, I would object to the phraseology of what it is that he's saying to the officers on the radio.
I think that's fine. I'm asking a question.
I'm going to believe the objection.
Thank you. Mr. McGree, will you agree that on track 2, that officer said more than 10-4 shot, oh my God?
Well, the only person who is saying that he said 10-4 I'm shot is you. I haven't heard anyone else say that. On the recording he says, oh, I'm shot. Central, I'm shot. Oh my God.
Isn't it true that you might have just misunderstood what you heard, because I have here 10-4 on shot, 10-4 on shot. Oh my God, all units of Sycamore Drive got suspect running with and shot. That would have just said Mr. Green. Then,
I do not agree with you.
I'm putting me in a pressure now, sir.
Play it. That's it. Play it 3 times. That's it. Ask another question, please.
On March 22nd, 2011, what were you?
I was at work.
Were you on Sycamore Drive?
No.
Or did you see the incident happen on Sycamore Drive?
No.
Didn't see it?
No.
Okay. Now on that CAD sheet you just looked at, on that what the chronicle sheet we just looked at, is what the CAD or chronicle, what is it?
The chronology?
Yes, sir. Now looking at that, did that say 10-4 I'm shot, 10-4 I'm shot, oh my God, did it say I'm shot?
What was entered into CAD by the dispatcher was 2370 said, there's a little dash there, I'm shot. So he was making a note in the CAD, making a note in the record that 2370 advised he was shot. The dispatcher was not attempting to transcribe everything the officer said. He was putting down the gist of what the officer said.
Okay. But it's certain that it never said 2370 on that call we just heard. We certain about that. One no number, 2370 called off on that number 2, wasn't it?
I would be hesitant to fault an officer for improper radio protocol following being shot.
I can understand, but did you hear that 2370 on this call we just played?
I did not hear him identify himself on the radio.
Okay. And you also agree that this background, your big chronology don't say 10-4 I'm shot, 10-4 I'm shot, oh my God, got suspect running down Sycamore Drive. Don't they say that, did they?
No.
I'd like to see 692, please, y'all.
92.
That is one of the discs, and I believe that we handed that.
You should have 692.
I'm sorry, y'all have to shut up on it.
What do you intend to do?
I'm just going to ask him a few questions about what's being heard.
You're not going to play that whole thing.
No.
We're going to ask questions.
Okay. What I got here is big tracks. I ain't playing all of my name here. That's what it's like. I like to play Shakes is in it, 692, track 6 through 9. Now I don't have to play all of them.
Well, what do you think about asking the question? And he may remember, he may not need
Yeah, but I think it'd be better if we go over so we don't make no mistakes. But if you don't want me to ask a question,
I'm not telling you can't, but I'm just not sure that you may be able to answer the question.
Just heard it. But I like to play it.
Please continue. Okay.
Thanks.
2370. Hey, man. Send me a call out on me.
When you agree that you heard off the question just say 2370,
Yes.
you said it, didn't you?
Yes.
Start counting up 1, 8, this is buddy. I know you're on 1. You're going to have my call, please. Central 2370.
On number 8, when off the question asked him to hook him up to his call, did you hear the radio traffic in the background by the 2001 vehicle?
Would you play it again?
Start chatting on one. Hey, sir, this is Buddy. I know you don't want to. You don't have my whole thing.
Yep, I heard something at the end about...
I was putting that radio on that they did.
Certainly.
And you heard a radio track from 2001 video photo file.
I heard it in the background. I'm not sure if it was on Officer Christian's side or if it was coming from Central side.
But we heard it.
We did.
If possible, it could have come off Christian radio right on the show.
It's possible.
Now, I don't feel like it's necessary to play this whole entire phone conversation. I just want to go from 6 minutes to 6:45, 6:46. I'd like you to look at 692, track 9, sir.
Hello? I'm on the grid going. Second police department.
Sure, before I start, what time this phone call started said? 1:28:05, what time would it be in record time?
That's 128.
I want to get the wrong one, then.
You did.
I'm sorry. 128. So that's 119.
119 and 57 seconds is when track number 9 begins.
I'm on track 9 here and it's saying 128. Am I correct here? I mean, I'm pressing already on number 9. 128. I thought it was 119.
Okay, well, 128.05.
Hold on, I just pulled mine off because that ain't what it is. Yeah, Judge, my track number 9 is 119.57 and it lasts for 8 minutes and 8 seconds. So this is something I'm reading they showing them.
I don't have an answer for it.
I got the same CD, I can put mine in and just play it for that. They don't.
That's not all the evidence at this point.
But it's a wrong time though.
I can't answer that. I don't have that information in front of me, so. You have another question?
Maybe fix this.
I don't know how to fix it. Do you want to see about introducing yours?
Yeah, I guess we have to.
You lay the foundation for it.
Ms. McGreevy, you stated that you made several copies of this Officer Christian phone calls about the lady calling and he talking to her, and he was on the phone and he got shot. Did you make a copy of that CD?
I did make several copies. I made a copy this morning.
Okay, you also gave the states a copy of the CD, correct?
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Young, I would like to move to enter Officer Christian 200 Crane Drive CD into evidence. He made several copies of it. He gave it to them, and they gave it to me in discovery. And it's the same exact thing, and I like to introduce the defendants. Exhibits, I don't know, maybe 15, 16.
Judge, if it is in fact the same, it's what's produced in Mr. In discovery, we certainly don't have any objection to displaying his copy rather than our copy, but I think the question would be, has Mr. McGreevy had an opportunity to review that and determine whether that is in fact the same CD and whether any alterations are being been made. We certainly don't, if that needs to be taken up outside the presence of the jury, we understand that.
All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to let y'all go to the jury room. I'm going to arrange for y'all to be taken, go to lunch while we deal with this. All right. y'all stay here and figure that out. I'll be back down, and I'll make sure that's done, because I'll have something to do with my time for when they come back. The bus is coming. All right? That's all.